Hey boys and girls, this is Mrs. Andrews.
And her son, Jax.
And we're going to do an experiment using the sun because we're starting to talk about heat. We're going to do an experiment with popsicles. And we want to see which popsicle will melt faster, the one in the shade or the one in the sun. And as a matter of fact, that is our guiding question for today. All experiments start with a question, and that is our question. So let me turn my camera around so you can see. Here is our question. Which popsicle will melt faster, the one in the shade or the one in the sun? And so the next word that you see is hypothesis. Boys and girls, what is a hypothesis? Well, a hypothesis is an educated guess, meaning you use your background information to make a guess as to what's going to happen. So, Jax, what do we know about the sun?
The sun has a heat wave that comes towards the earth, and it
heats up the earth, right?
Yeah, it heats up the earth.
So, what do you think is going to happen to this popsicle?
It would melt faster, and
In the sun, right?
Yeah, and it'll turn into liquid.
So our hypothesis is that the popsicle in the sun is going to melt faster than the popsicle in the shade. So give us a minute. Let's go get our popsicles. Alrighty, we're back, and now we have our popsicles. So Jax, what popsicles did you bring out?
Pink
Okay.
and blue.
So now we have a pink and a blue popsicle. So we're going to put one in the shade and one in the sun. So let's go, Jax. Where are you going to go, pickles?
Okay. Since I thought about blue like in dark. So
And blue means cold, right?
yeah. With the thermometer,
Yep.
blue.
So we're going to put the blue in the shade here. And so we're going to put the pink just right here, Jax. Let's put it close by. And there's our pink in the sun. Very good. So we got our pink in the sun and we got our blue in the shade. And so now, to be able to do our experiment, to record the process of what everything's happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to do in like 10-minute intervals. We're going to check them in 10-minute intervals. And then we're going to record what we see every 10 minutes. So we are starting our video. Here, Jax, get your clipboard. And we're going to write in the time. Fill in this chart right here. We're going to fill in the time. We're going to fill in what it looks like in this, what the shaded one looks like and what the sun looks like. The one in the sun. So our time is 3:17. So put in the time. He's going to write 3:17. And he's going to write start. And we're going to put frozen because both popsicles are frozen. Alrighty, so we will check back in 3:27. That's 10 minutes. See you soon. Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Andrews.
And her son, Jax.
Okay, so we got about one more minute. So let's go ahead and go over the worksheet and what Jax filled out to keep track of what is happening. Here we go. So we're looking at the chart, and we wrote down 3:17 was our start time, and they were both still frozen. So at 3:27, Jax, what do you predict is going to happen?
Look at the popsicle.
Well, we're doing a prediction. So what do you think is happening?
I think the popsicle is going to...
Do you think the one in the sun has melted some?
Yeah. And I think it's gonna melt fast, very fast, because this part of the day is super, super hot. So.
Oh, you know what? You bring up a great point. Boys and girls, Jax brought up a great point. Depending on when you do this activity, depends on, I think, how fast that the popsicle in the sun will melt, because at different points of the day, it is hotter. And right now, it is 3:27. So this is the hottest part of the day, where the sun is the highest and beams down on the earth, and it's hotter. So let's check out our popsicle and see what is happening. Here is our popsicle in the sun. Wow, Jax, in 10 minutes, what's happened?
It's melted a lot.
Wow, look, pretty much all the frost is almost gone and on the top, and check out all that liquid. Wow. So what are we going to write on our recording sheet? So what do you see? What are we going to write for the sun?
Like already halfway?
I wouldn't say halfway melted, but there's quite a bit of juice, quite a bit of melting happening going on there, right? Yeah, let's go check out the one in the shade. Let's check out. Here's our popsicle in the shade. Wow, our popsicle in the shade, there's still some frost, but there really is some melting too. But it looks like a lot of it is still pretty firm. It's still ice. It's still ice, but there is some liquid.
Yep.
So right now, and I are going to go record. We'll see you again in 10 minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Andrews and Jax, and we're back again. It is now time. Let's look at our sheet to see what we recorded last time to remember us. Let's get the sheet, Jax. Okay, chart. So at 3:27, the shade was mostly ice with a little liquid, and in the sun there was some ice and some liquid. So now let's check out our sun and let's see what has happened. OMG, let's check this out. Jax, what do you notice about it? Holy smokes, it is over halfway liquid.
Yeah. I already know what I'm going to write.
What are you going to write?
Half liquid, half ice.
Well, I think it's a little more than half
A quarter?
half ice. I would say mostly liquid and a little bit of ice. That one is already almost gone. Let's go check out our shaded. Let's see if our shaded is going that fast. Wow, let's see. Wow, our shade, it has some liquid, but it's still quite a bit of ice. It's more liquid than last time, but if you can see, there is some liquid, but it's still mainly ice. Jax, why do you think that's so? Why do you think the one in the sun is more liquidy?
Because the sun is hotter than the shade.
The sun is hotter than the shade. That's very profound. Alrighty, boys and girls, we'll be right back in a few minutes. See you in 10. Hey, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Andrews.
And her son, Jax.
And we are back. So let's look at our sheet to refresh ourselves on what we wrote last time. So at 3:37, the shade still had ice and some liquid. And in the sun, it was mostly liquid with a little bit of ice. So let's check out and see what has happened with the sun. Oh, wow. Check this out. This is really almost all liquid. Now, it might be a little hard to see on the video, but there are still a few little chunks of ice. It is not completely liquid yet.
Nope.
So, there's just a few little chunks. So, we will check back in a few minutes. I can't believe that it has taken not very long for this stuff to melt. So, let's go check the shaded parts. Let's check the shaded one, Jax. Oh, wow. Look at the shaded one. The shaded one has some liquid. It has some liquid and some ice. It's probably about half and half. Wouldn't you think, Jax?
Yep. I think it's good.
It's about half and half. Now, do you think we need to wait another 10 minutes before that ice one is going to melt?
I would
Or
say
the one in the sun, excuse me.
say it's another 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
No.
Okay. All right, and girls, we're going to wait about another 2 minutes, and we'll see if the one in the sun is melted. Be right back. Hey, boys and girls, we're back. So Jack suggested 2 minutes. So now we're going to check the one in the sun and see what has happened in 2 minutes. So here we go. Here it is. Oh, wow, Jax, that was a good suggestion because now all the ice is gone and it is all liquid.
Yep.
Woohoo! So we're going to put, for our time, we're going to put that it was all liquid at 3:49. So let's put on our chart. Get your chart. So we have our chart. So we're going to write on the sun right here. We're going to write all liquid. You? It is all liquid. OMG. So let's count up and let's figure out how long it took for this popsicle to melt in the sun. So let's look at your chart. Let's count. We're going to start here. That's 10, 20, 30, and 2 minutes. So 2. It took 32 minutes for this popsicle to melt in the sun. So what was your hypothesis, Jax?
That it would melt in around 30 minutes.
It was around 30
correct.
minutes. So which popsicle do you think would melt faster? Well, your hypothesis was the popsicle in the sun would melt faster or the one in the shade?
Sun.
And we are correct, because if we go check out this popsicle over here in the shade, the popsicle in the shade is still not melted. Now, it is quite a bit of liquid now, but it still has some ice. So clearly, the popsicle in the sun melted faster than the popsicle in the shade. So we can say that anything in direct sunlight is going to melt faster, and also it's going to be hotter. So let's look at our chart again. Let's see if we can predict how much more time that shade one would need. So let's take a look. So if we look at the one that is in the sun, where it says some ice, some liquid, so that was at 3:27. Well, at 3:47, it says half liquid, half ice. So that's about a 20-minute difference. And those are very similar descriptions. So if we add another 20 minutes, and if we know that our original time for the sun was 32 minutes, and we add 20 minutes, that is 52 minutes. So we know if we leave this in the shade, it would approximately take probably another 22 minutes for it to melt. Now, we are just making an educated guess, but more than likely, that's probably about how long it would take. Girls, thank you so much for joining us for our heat experiment today, and hopefully maybe you can try some fun ones at home too. Bye.